Now, face the mighty bison.
A question that's been on everyone's mind is when will the final character be announced? You know, what they did for Lydia is they announced Lydia and then they showed like a teaser trailer of the character. They did, I believe, a Tekken talk of the character. And then before the character release, they announced Heihachi, which was the next character. So if you then talk about what they're doing for Heihachi, announce Heihachi, they did a Tekken talk for Heihachi, they released Heihachi. If the format was to stay the same, they should have announced the next character before Heihachi release, is what we all were expecting. What I realized going back and looking at what they did for Eddie is that Eddie's release schedule and Lydia's release schedule was different. So they announced Eddie January the 14th, they released Eddie April the 4th, and then they teased Lydia a month later at April the 25th, and then they released her July 25th, right? So with Eddie, they teased that character and then released him all separately from Lydia. Now, even though they kind of mashed together Lydia and Heihachi a little bit, that doesn't necessarily guarantee that they will do it for the final character, and we're kind of realizing that now, which is why everyone is so confused. What I did just to try to figure out where they can possibly drop this character is I went back to Tekken 7 and looked at when and where these characters released. And from the looks of it, it was only one character who released in November. So Anna and Lei was September the 16th. Armor King was December the 3rd. On the topic of December the 3rd, what a lot of people are expecting is for the character to be revealed at December the 7th, 8th, which is the Tekken World Tour Finals, right? I kind of get on board with that idea, but it's very hard for me to believe that they will skip all of November and then save that reveal for the Tekken World Tour Finals. So the idea that players throw around is at the Tekken World Tour Finals, they show the character trailer. And then a little bit later, they would probably do a Tekken talk. And then before December the 31st, the character would actually release. And the character can release towards the end of the year, right? Now, that does make sense, but we will still need some kind of teaser before then. So that still puts us in the realm of something should happen in November. But Armor King releasing in December the 3rd, that shows you that they do like to do things at the start of December. When you look at who's this, Julia, February 28th. On the topic of February is going to be a big month for Tekken 7 as well. Now, I know we're all still in Season 1 mode, but, people are starting to talk about Season 2. Where I 100% think that Season 2 will be announced is the European Tekken Cup. For those of you who don't know, there's 2 Tekken circuits that goes on. Well, there's 3 if you want to count the EWC and whatnot. But there's the Tekken World Tour, which is the most popular. There's the European Tekken Cup, which is exclusively for Europe because the Tekken player base is so big there. You talk about like 60% of players are in Europe, so they have their own circuit. And then the third one, which is the newest, is the EWC, right? But the European World Cup starts in about October, November, basically starts now, right? But when you look at their website, actually, you can look at before that. So this is the majors that they have. So this is the biggest tournaments that will take place at the EWC. You have these ones here, the 25th, which is basically now. And then you have this one here, which is 11/16, 11/23, 11/30. So you only have 4 or 3 in November. Now, they could do a teaser for the final character at one of these events. Probably not, but maybe so. I don't know. But when you look at where this event ends, it ends here. I'll read it. It says, for the first time ever, European Tekken Cup 3 is hosting a last chance qualifier. The finals and LCQ will be hosted at Gamescom Land from the 21st to 23rd of February. Now, this is most certainly going to be the start of Season 2, and the reason why is because, one, you have a major tournament ending. We know they like to do big things at the ends of tournaments, which is why we're looking forward to the Tekken World Tour. This one is a big tournament. It ends in February, which is where Season 1 started with kind of Eddie, right? That's where Tekken 8 released. If you think about it, this is almost a year anniversary to Tekken 8. But then also too, Gamescom, that is one of the biggest like game events of the year. You have like Summer Games Fest, you have Gamescom, and you have Game Awards. This is a big one, and the fact that you have all the three of these things happening, they're definitely going to do season 2 there. And then also you got to talk about that we have that screenshot where it says the final character for season 1 will be out by December 31st. So season 1 will be officially over by then, and we may sit through an entire month of January with no news, and then boom, big things happen for the 1 year anniversary of Tekken 8. Right? But that's something we look forward to in the future. Let's go back to season 1. The next character here is Zafina, which released in September on the 10th. You have Fakaram on March. You have Leroy Smith on December the 10th. Once again, same thing as Armor King, December the 3rd. Leroy Smith, December the 10th. At the start of December is when they like to do these big announcements. And the thing about Leroy Smith, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he a tomorrow type of reveal? Well, they showed him at EVO. Then they showed his gameplay at the event, and then his release date was set for tomorrow. Now, the reason why I don't think they will do that, even though it was so great when they did that, the reason why I don't think they'll do that is because you now have to factor in the Tekken Talks. They really like to do these Tekken Talks where they can explain in detail how the character works. They could talk about some other things. You can talk about like the update, just different things, right? So it's not just with Tekken 7, they just teased the character, they showed the trailer and the character release. But with Tekken 8, there's a few more steps involved. So it's not necessarily show the character and release it tomorrow kind of thing. You have to get that Tekken Talk in there somewhere, we would believe, especially with a guest character. They did a Tekken Talk for Eddie, Lydia, and Heihachi. You know they're going to want to do one for the guest character and talk about, well, okay, so it's not confirmed that it is a guest character. This is just what the players are really starting to believe, right? We have some evidence, some ideas, some things that points to a guest character, and that's what we're waiting to see, right? But if it is 100% a guest character, then they're definitely going to want and do a Tekken Talk and explain, maybe have the developers of whatever character it is join on board and talk about some details. It's going to be an exciting one, right? But the start of December has always been something special. This one is Ganryu. Ganryu released on December the 10th, same time as Leroy Smith. Kunimitsu was the only character for all of Tekken 7 who released in November, and that was November the 10th. And when's Halloween? October the 1st, October 31st. So they'll probably wait a couple of days later. And I think in the middle of November is a really good idea, because you do have to, here's another thing you got to keep in mind. We also have this mysterious balance update where they said they wanted to target Dragunov and Alyssa, but not just give them subtle damage nerfs, but they actually wanted to hit those characters tracking and how they hit the opponent on block. And this is by far the most significant. It's sounding like it's going to be the most significant update. So with that update coming, you have to give the players time to lab it before the finals. So this is what makes me believe that they're going to do something like around November the 10-ish, with just giving us an update on what's happening with Tekken and what to expect for the next couple of months, right? You got that update that's coming that's going to really change the game, but also dropping a teaser for the guest character. So when the finals do come around, they can drop an official trailer or like a Tekken Talk or something, right? So the dominoes will start to fall. I think everyone should just look towards mid-November for something. Even if it's not the guest character, it's going to be the balance update. But then after that, December, it's really going to be go time.